Here's a quick video showing you how I feed my sourdough starter. I like to leave my wet jar lid set loosely on top of my jar with one clip in between the jar and the lid to allow nice airflow. As you can see here, my starter was very excited about its last feeding, and it made it where I needed to pry the lid off because it overflowed a little bit, and that's totally okay. It still has lots of bubbles this morning, but sometimes it'll have a liquid on top called hooch. That's also normal. That just means it's time for a really good feeding. Before feeding my starter, I always stir a little bit to make sure that the levels of the ferment are nice and blended. Now I'll discard all but about a quarter cup of the starter to leave in the jar for its next feeding. That's all it takes to really get a large amount of starter. Just wanted to make a note here. This is for regular maintenance feedings. If you're rehydrating a dehydrated starter, you would need to follow the instructions that come with your package. This is for your everyday, out-on-the-counter starter feedings. I like to add about 1 cup of unbleached all-purpose flour to that quarter cup of starter that I left in the jar. Then I'll add approximately 3/4 of a cup to 1 cup of water to that entire mixture and stir extremely well. Really get into it. Make sure that's all blended, all the lumps are out the best you can get. You can even add a little water if needed. You really want your starter to be the consistency of an extremely thick pancake batter. Make sure to stir that in well. Also, it creates some air bubbles in your starter, which helps the probiotics and the culture really ferment well. You can see that consistency there. That's just perfect. Scrape your jar sides really well before you add the lid back to your jar. And clean those edges. It helps it from sticking like mine did. If it overflows, it's okay. You saw how I just pried the lid off and it was no big deal. Just hang your clip on the edge of your jar, place your lid loosely on top, set on the counter, and get ready to watch it grow. Thanks for watching. Happy sourdoughing!